Yes, I believe we're back. Show up in the feed. Yes, we are back. With a brand new... Drugs.
Drugs?
With a brand new track. It's called Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Maybe. Let's do it. Let's try
Miles
this.
Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations.
That's the one.
As abbreviated by the fan community as AAI.
I will start a new game on Edgeworth Ace Miles Attorney. We doing it. Turnabout visitor. Threads. Fucking don't know where. All we know is it's March 14th. To make sure the defendant is found guilty. What other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Damn! Look at this guy! I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Shit! March 14th, 205, Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. Oh! Oh, we're a little Edgeworth now! Hard to believe I've been away from my office for a whole month. Hope Detective Gumshoe's been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. Doors unlocked?
But yeah, like I said, the whole, the innovation of this game was walking.
Shit. I just realized you're here. What have I done? There we go.
Drugs?
Drugs. What the... Yo! What's up? Burn it up, Ollie. That's no good! Oh, damn. Identify yourself. Shut up! Got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Damn! Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Oh, he's backing off. Damn! Edgeworth swagger made him bow down, bitch! My name is Miles Edgeworth.
He's cool as a cucumber, I'll give him that.
Indeed. I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I'd be thrust into a multitude of cases in some very frantic and busy days. We got little sprites! That's fun. Finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Ah! Yo, it's that boy! Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. Heard a murder taking place in your office. I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct. The one they assigned to handle the murder case for the time being. What's up? You're looking a little pale, sir. You hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine, however. Oh, look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say. Culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Sounds like you're getting really burned up over the whole thing. crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Just like you, Edgeworth. Time to do some investigating. First course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. Oh, I have an organizer. I just noticed. Oh. I guess this is the same thing as the court record. Proof of my profession, however, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Nice. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder commit in my office? Crime scene, my office. Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? Logic! Interesting! Nagging feeling this is something important to keep in mind. I was wondering why I myself. Can't really say it's just coincidence, can you? Not really. Especially because of this. Key to your office. For security reasons, this office door has a lock built into it. Kablamzo. That's good logic right there. If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic is this forbidden power that only Edgeworth has.
Every attorney has their own special power.
Yep.
Phoenix is the Magatama.
Yep.
Apollo has the bracelet.
Edgeworth has logic. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I recall information using the logic button, and then connect them together. Push the select button. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, I have a life bar back there too. That was literally the spitting image of big braining. And you get a big brain visual. It would have been hard for the murderer and victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location as mere coincidence. That's exactly what I was thinking, sir. Must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Oh yeah, slap that shit in the logic box! When your follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Begin investigation! Basis is to examine everything. I know that. When I want to examine something, hit the examine button. If you ever feel lost, touch the partner button. Give you great precise advice as an ace investigator. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Oh. Oh. That's... This is a way to move.
Oh, I just thought you would be using the controller.
Right, that's a thing I can do. I haven't been doing that this whole time.
Yeah, the Ace Attorney investigation schemes, you're probably going to want to either map some keyboard controls or get your controller.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my troller. Alright. Bop. Ba-da, bop, ba-da, bop. I'm looking at my Wii U. Bop, 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 bop. Whoa! Almost let you slip there, little buddy. Buttons can be disabled by using escape. And kablamzo. Okay. Let's get our controller on. Okay, yeah. We in it. We in it now. Okay. What have we here? this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. It was issued the exact same model, I think. Detective, I don't really like guns all that much. They're really dangerous. Oh, whoops. That was Gumshoe. Now I think about it, you do see the model around a lot of the precincts, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. Same type of revolver as the ones used in this precinct's detectives. Aw yeah, logic. They even knocked over your chess set. I had all set up ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve the case. But I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Damn. Burn. Let's see here. Blood all over his lower abdomen. Looks like the bullet passed clean through the stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Aw yeah, jot that shit down in my organizer. It's the safest way I know to keep track of it all. All the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. The organizer isn't only for evidence, keep people's profiles on hand too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Check out that wallet! That's a wallet! Oh, it's a police badge! Yeah, the exact same thing. What a coinkydink. I don't think that's a coinkydink. Buddy Faith! Pure art victim was a detective just like you. See to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information, how to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. First things first, this one looks like a bad wound. Lower abdominal area. Bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. He was shot. Oh. My bad. Oh, okay, that's my partner button. Anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Rushed over here as soon as there was a murder in your office. Investigation's just gotten started, so there's not much else to say. Are you the one that found the body? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. What awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective. Ooh, get got. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe. Examine things by tapping them or touching the exam button. Checking various things out, we gather evidence and information. Let's see the evidence we collected by touching the organizer button. Information. It's the logic button. That's it. Deductive, reasonable is the way to go. It's called deductive reasoning, Detective. Clearly something you lack. Damn. Wrecked. Ah, okay. Those are my L and R buttons. Let's connect these two. Got it. The revolver, standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Excuse me, pal. Let's see, what have we got here? Guy's wearing a gun holster. It appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Very good. Ooh, we gotta check. Gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. Use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Slide bar on the X and Y to zoom and get nitty gritty. okay. To think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of the trigger. Can't ever see myself really liking guns. I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. Take off before it's fired, everyone always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now you mentioned it, even when I finished first, I always wind up in last place. Fucking gumshoe, though. Oh, okay. Examine. Examine, that's the one. Only one round was fired from this. Killer killed the Vic with just one shot? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun. We have no proof for now, but that's a distinct possibility. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Talk to you. Anything to report? Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. Yet there's something out of the ordinary right now in front of my eyes. Oh, is he just talking about the gun again? Probably. Yo, is that Steel Samurai shit? It's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared any harm. Haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. I don't know much about it myself, but hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo is the Steel Samurai. His goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's show geared towards kids, however its high production values and riveting plot draw in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai, along with a deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show given in presents. You sure know a lot. You sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. The conversation lasted longer than expected. Let's return to the investigation. It's the trophy! And it's a shield. You always send this to the wing prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that's something only I can determine. Damn. Slick. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometimes. His monetary worth is tied directly as to his worth to me. Fucking rough. Teacup fragments. My fucking tea set! Fucking killer's gonna get got! Can only be bought in England. Costs more than your whole month's paycheck. Now I feel like the killer wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Damn. Desk. How I've missed you. It's so tidy, it looks newer when I first bought it. Thing's so polished, it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, detective. My job's to protect your office, sir. You did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit, the desk never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. What you got? In absolute silence, fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Oh, I never. Sick. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa. Looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too, just for a little bit? You know I can't allow that. Till this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. I thought he was gonna be like, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Oh, damn. Do I have any more logic? No, just the one. Let's take a look at this real quick. Only one shot fired. Ah, profiles. Detective, this precinct and the victim. Homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Body was found at around 2:05 a.m. God damn, that's a long. That's a late time right there, is what that is. All right. Ooh! You have a run. We do have a run.
pretty sure you can leave the office. I can't remember much though.
Say what?
I'm fairly certain that you can leave the office.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out how. Probably fell during the struggle between the victim and the killer. Oh, hang on, here's the thing. I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. It's just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. Don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. I water the flowers every day like you requested. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. About half a day every Saturday I'd come in and clean the place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Okay, I just needed to find the one thing. Jim? You alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. I can't do that. The investigation's still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk to me like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal. Oh. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes I am. Jacques Portsman. Jimmy was my partner in crime busting. Miles Edgeworth. And like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Dick Gumshoes, sir. You're Miles Edgeworth. Guess this is your office? And it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions. Just calm down. I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Ooh. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip the whole time. The key to the door was with me the entire time. Oh, God, Gumshoe, shut up. Shut up, Gumshoe, you stupid idiot. You stupid idiot.
Jesus Christ, don't you?
Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation's only just begun. Isn't it a little too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. Sure are one cool customer, though, Edgeworth. I've heard all about the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? How about a handshake to seal the deal? Hands are gross. No, not really. Pleasure to work with you. You guys are conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then, it's your room after all. Thank you, I intend to. Just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there? Sir. Damn. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. A final farewell to my partner, Jim. Should probably give them some space. Word from me. Wait and see. It'll be for the both of us. Now, you want to talk to me about something? No, it's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting your conversation. How's it coming along? Absolute silence. This picture's too important to mess up. I'll leave the man to his art. Ah! What the fuck? Must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. The killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? Dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they'd shot through it? Would have been a disaster. Hang on. You haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us. That there is. Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. It's starting to sound like him. That blue bitch. I have my own methods, and I'll conduct the investigation my way. It seemed before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off. That's where my deductive skills come into play. Find the spot that holds the contradiction. That right there. Damn, I don't even have to click it. That's nice. My spot. I don't know why, but I thought that said douche for like half a second. I should touch the douche button with conviction. Sufficient proof to contradict and present it is how I do things. That shit was only shot once. What the fuckery? Eureka! It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. First felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. However, this gun was only fired once. It's true too, which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Notice something, sir. What's the thing sticking out from behind the frame? That's a secret safe. Nice! Oh, I smell money! Spare you the troubles and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. If you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here. I'd have kept it clean for you. So when'd you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Damn, that's cool! I want a safe. Only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial's in session. Talking about squashing my hopes and dreams. My secret safe's with me. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Why is there what seems to be weirdness? This keypad. Did you find it a bit too clean? There's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, forensic scientist. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? Damn, was someone trying to get in my safe? Couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was all wiped down well. Okay, as I thought. Appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Rationally and calmly connect the dots. Let's do it, baby. Probably killer's goal and wiped fingerprints. Connect! Boosh! I think I figured out what the murderer was after. The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Aw yeah, big logic. Knowing the motive behind the break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me. There's another handgun present. He was possibly expecting to do a stick-up. Ugh! Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Maybe? Okay. Let's hear this. files split on the floor, not the result of a struggle between the victim and his... Ah! We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Shelved files like you've never seen before. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? Logic, baby! Restore the files to their rightful place. So this file goes here, that book goes there. Sure know a lot about where things go despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay? Done. The murder was definitely committed here. Bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. Then the guy fell over on the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm no good with blood, sir. Something wrong here. Guess I'll just look around for a minute. Oh! It's been made when unable to stay standing and dropped to the floor. What's this little puppy right here? Well, it lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? Well, to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates the file was ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Put them all back just as they should be. Doesn't look like anything's missing. It does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Oh, whoops. No. I forgot about the deduce button. Hit it! Point out the contradiction. Fucking... the revolver again? Eureka! I don't really see what's so wrong with that spot. You don't understand? Therein lies the contradiction. Mr. Edgeworth, it'd be nice if you just admit when you're wrong. That wasn't a mistake! That's funny. That's me keeping you on your toes. Okay. Maybe the crime scene notes? There we go. You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. The victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. Like the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down. That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests he was standing when he was shot. That means... what does that mean? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, Detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. Files is a bit off. I'm back in the wrong order just now? Actually, I think the labels on the file is wrong. You see here, files shot with the number 0. What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, 3? This is really weird. Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. Exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. Numbers are all out of order. That's why binders are special, so they're arranged a little differently. From this, we know the files were not in the order when the crime scene occurred. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Ah. You finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. Damn, just gonna prop up the body. Bullet hole's now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files before shooting. Put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And proceeded to shoot the victim. How did someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. Files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was in the time of murder. Time to give it another look. What's all this then?
Hello, what's all this then?
Ah, what's all this then? Why does it say gumshoe on there of my blood? It's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Indicative of the criminal's activity indeed. There's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, say something. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all? So what about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Investigation complete. Ah, life recovered. It's like Jim was able to leave us in the name of the killer in the end. This most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. Alright. Don't like this one bit. Something strange about this man's attitude. There must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. What are you gonna do? What I always do in court. Cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaws in his logic with this technique. How do you do it? Might as well. Alright. First, I listen to what the witness says. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece. Present something, just touch the present button, but that's old news. Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness. Damn! Freaking out of courtroom testimony. Sure, try this technique during investigations too. I'll have to show you how it's done. Watch carefully. Oh shit. Argument! You stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you'd committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding in. His final words that brought to justice. You tend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. Jim's voicing he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure he's not mishearing his word? You're not mishearing his words. There's no way Detective Gumshoe's the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Rebuttal! Stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Messed up the files to make it look like you committed theft instead. Oh, right, that would be my L. I haven't used the controller once this whole set of games, so I'm having to learn the controller controls.
I mean, you can always set down the controller for these sections and go back to the mouse.
It's true. It's true.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that's how I play the game.
Maybe your salary been cut so much that life's getting a little too rough to handle. Have you know I eat 3 square meals every day, pal? Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, now. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. Why did you call the victim Jim? Well, clearly his name is Buddy Faith. Isn't it obvious? Jim's the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Those two names go together like peanut butter and jam? Jim isn't even close to the real guy's name. Yeah, well, shocking, but he just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to name Jim. Talks about the victim like he was his pet. Hold it! Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Body was getting in his way. He had to mess up their bookshelf somehow, right? Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters the body was hiding. There is, like, so much wrong with this, I don't even know where to start. You know nothing about me, pal. Can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. Alright, let's take a look at my evidevin. Whoops. Oh, actually that was cool. Jim is an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. Looks like Mr. Portsmouth still doesn't understand. He's yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. There's a gigantic flaw in his logic, so wide even the good old detective can spot it. Alright. You stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. You messed up the files to make... I mean, number one... There's... Why would he... Wait a minute. Why would he have to steal a gun in the first place? He's got his own. I think. It's standard issue. Everyone has one. Would I present that then? Oh, fuck. Alright. I hope this works. Maybe you take a good look at this. Okay. Okay. Messed up the files to make it look like you would commit theft instead. But he didn't realize that the files were... Am I just not getting it? Messed up files to make it look like you committed theft. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. You didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. I'm actually legit stumped.
I'm pretty sure that it wants you to present the missing file there, because if he had taken the file after the letters had been written, why would he leave the rest of the letters?
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. My brain just kind of like slowed for some reason. There's a serious flaw in your logic. No problem, I'm game. Can't help but find it odd. Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have time to laugh, you have time to take another closer look at this. Still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing files? take the file after murdering your partner. I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. It's possible they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious the file was stolen after it was written on. Missing letters in the detective's name is where the file... What?
The missing letters in the file were the detective's name should be... God, now even I'm trying... I read it correctly, and now I can't say it correctly.
Yeah, my brain did it too. It's a perfectly fine sentence. Why did it trip both of us up?
I have no idea, because I was trying to help you out there, and then suddenly my brain just...
Yeah. Is it just getting late or something? Do I need to call it early? Fucking what the hell?
Not even close. Well, actually, well, I guess it is kind of close. I mean, it's almost 12 for me, which means it's almost 1 for you, but...
Yeah. Especially a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Oh! To be fair... Gumshoe did absolutely prop the dead body up. So I don't know if that's really consistent. I'm gonna get him, you'll see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant, absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. Appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. It's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive inside. It really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However... What is this time? You still after me, pal? Hear me for a sec. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. Mr. Edgeworth just proved I'm innocent, pal. Whoa. And I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? I was thinking, do you know there's one other person with the key to this office? One other person. Hey, you there. Yes, sir, what is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort the lovely young lady here for me? Lady? The girl's a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. She's security? No, stop it, pal, don't. Oh no, it's not Maggie, is it? Oh, fuck, it's totally Maggie, isn't it? Oh, fuck, you're getting dragged in again! Why's it gotta be this way? Is the security guard on watch tonight? I see, your point is. My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all doors in the building. Oh, no. Fuck.
Oh, not again.
Not again. This is the 3rd time! Poor girl.
Well, we know why they call her Bad Luck Bird.
Apparently. Refuse to believe Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, I did- Wow, Gumshoe. Well, it wasn't really me. But it definitely wasn't Maggie. So yeah, if it was me, oh, fucking Christ. Please refrain from flying off the handle, detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. It's pretty obvious Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. That leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more provable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Master key! Incredibly incriminating. What do we have here? Got every office door. Its use is controlled by security staff. Let's take a look. Master key to every office in the building. Fuck it. Mouse. It's the master key. Okay, not much to see here, it seems. What? Give me a. Alright. That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. Flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. If there's anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key, seems the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press. I must press. Miss Bird snuck into the room using the master key. You're sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at the time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? It's true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. I wasn't able to. What's that supposed to mean? I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. You mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. Can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Ask for more details! Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what she has to say. Can I just save you a waste of time? We don't need to hear lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean, missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, you believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe someone like you would be taken in by such words. Objection! If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. Just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Likely story. Where's your proof the key was stolen to begin with? Bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. Practically guarantee that. If something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. You don't want to test just how bad or... Well, fortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking in. Her motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? Just decide, dude! Either put it on or take it off, you asshole!
Hey, this guy.
Can't ignore the fact all the evidence points towards a motive of theft, but I'm done taking blows. It's time to counteract with a few facts of my own. From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. I concur the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery, however. With regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It's just a theory, one hypothesis among many. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, why didn't you mention her first? Don't make that face. There goes the truth, running the other way. God, this guy.
I don't like him.
I don't like him either. Since she's the only one who could have opened the office door. That leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Say there's another way to open the door other than the master key? Ah, I get it. Perhaps you have a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Guess I should have known better than to suggest someone like you would. She knows our good detective, doesn't she? Is there anyone in the district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. I never knew it was so talked about, sir. Holding our collective breath, you know. when you screw up so badly you're literally chased off the forest. Damn! Of course not. That's hogwash. Scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. You stuttered a little.
Oh, Edgeworth.
Oh.
Way to wear your thoughts on your sleeve.
It's fine. Gumshoe can't tell. Whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame it. Just the act of choosing his name is proof enough the two knew each other well. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I'd love to. First, we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying. Okay. Maybe the idea is that there was no way she would have known about the safe. Got it! Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also, by your logic, we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyways. Maybe, but you are also aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. Existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Oh, baby! I find it a little hard to believe a hidden safe is part of our cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Oh yeah, chew on that metal. Even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it. You proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable. That face. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? What made you... It's the angry face all of a sudden. It's not my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you say? You're partners, like inseparable, conjoined twins. That's why I told him. Fill him in on the secret safes. I'd only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming the victim was the thief. You were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. You're still accusing Maggie of the murder. Yes, I know. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim who'd probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? You could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have the key to the office. That's precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It's Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. You honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? I think we're done here. Investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? Can't kick us out. It's Mr. Edgeworth's office. I'm the one who's been assigned to the case. You're all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run the show. Oh, stompy stompy. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. We have no choice but to accommodate his request for now. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We'll meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Don't disappoint me, you hear? Damn. Hey, save. Oh. Well, okay, that took a little longer than usual. What's with that prosecutor? Can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. Kicked out of the crime scene. True. So then what now? It's like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Don't despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. Many other places and things we should be looking into anyways. For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. If that's the case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mysterious mystery. Begin investigation! Fuck it! Bye. Rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. That's suspicious-looking. That's pretty sus right there. The missing O-series file. Bloody letters marked as clear as day. Seems to be a few pages missing. The thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. What are these O-files about? Guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly, just a collection of court case files. However, cases within these files are not mine. They belonged to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's say I was charged with keeping them as they were. The thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason. It seems so. Only the related pages to that case from 10 years ago were missing. I wonder why everyone would care about such an old case. That's interesting. Ball! It's just a fucking what? Prosecutors going outside shooting hoops in their own hallway? What the fuck?
Not shooting some people.
Yeah, shooting some people outside of the office. Not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. You! Looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is not a trifling matter. Gotta find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. Sounds like the messy case you've got in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door's always open. Oh, gracious. I'll keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy again? Wrecked. He doesn't even know his name. He's just prosecutor. It's great.
Oh, Winston. Winston.
Get wrecked, Winnie. Drag it. It wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor. Jesus. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. You must know I weighed myself in the morning. I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about the hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Damn. Brutal. 1203. Hey Maggie, whose room is this again? Mr. Portsman's, sir. He's my new neighbor, I see. Suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. Or if I may speak with you for a minute concerning the case. He's been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream, where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Can't let this chance pass me by. Wow, this lady.
Oh, Maggie.
Have you ever met the victim before? I've seen him a couple times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman. Sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was passing the ball. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in at all. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? Take it you're the acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. So I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life's been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, been hit by all sorts of vehicles, sick, failed at every test. She's been through it all. That's a lot to go through in my lifetime. Just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. And you don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I'll solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Damn. Oh, present. Gotcha. Whoops. But when did you discover the master key was missing? At the time I realized, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir, and I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It's just sitting there on the ledge when the security room's reception window is. I'm sure that between those two times it wasn't just gone but stolen. Fill my logic bucket! Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that. You always keep the key further inside the room away from the window. Always, except for this time. Well, I think I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. So after I'd used it, I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used it. You gotta talk to me about that, girl. What did you mean by you used the master key? I used it to open the door for this prosecutor and forgotten his key. Ooh. I mean, it's my job as security guard, right? Ah! What is it? I just remembered. The prosecutor forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman! What? Tell me more, Bird, quickly. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to the security. That's when you loaned him the master key. No way, it was against regulation to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with him up to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. And then what? What happened after that? He called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30, I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious. Doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. This calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's room. Let's go into his room! Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. 1203. Can't mistake it because the basketball hoop. Reminds me, Miss Portsman actually wanted room 1202 really badly, but since you're already occupying it, we put him next door. Why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? That's because it's something like his birthday is December 2nd. It's gotta be it. Can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting my time thinking about this? Actually, Edgeworth, I think that might very well be big important. Bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Edgeworth? It's the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from. Wrecked. Minimalist yet classy door, top wood. Majestic, fits well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. Man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne. I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Oh my god, he thinks he's a custodian. That's funny as shit. Fucking annihilated.
Pain is so unremarkable that Edgeworth can't get it right.
That is rough riding. Examine. Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. Can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. office. It's actually pretty useful, sir. Haven't gotten lost in trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office, and yet you still managed to get lost? Maybe it's time.
Yes!
Can I connect these two? Boom, baby! Afraid there's a flaw in your story. No way, pal! I mean, sir! Ha ha ha! Gumshoe's rubbing off on you. Said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30. However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. Totally forgotten all about it. You're right. It was around that very time I realized it was missing. Security guard. I couldn't just admit to losing it. So I pretended to lock up his room. Used my house key and made it look like I was locking up. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Thought maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Heh! Deduce. No, that's not it. You, nice. But damn. Oh, no? Fuck. No, I don't really get it myself either. I see. If I look a little harder, I'll find the contradiction slumber here. My organizer one more time. Unlock the door, but the master key was stolen, so she couldn't unlock it. What exactly is this game wanting me to do? Hey, oh.
Maybe it's asking for the door itself, because I did notice that it's in the organizer.
Maybe. I'm gonna talk to Gumshoe for a sec. Detective in Cyanide Drama, all my cops is Jim too, but one of them's a big fan of the show. Seem to know a little something about it yourself. Take you watch it too. Tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, but it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Friendship, detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity. Holy shit, Edgeworth! That's cruel! Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding the security guard position. Oh, okay, that's...
I require the bathroom. I shall return.
Bathroom time. Waiting for this. A real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. Instant noodle cuisine, perhaps. You can always check out the really important spot more in detail. If the area is too big, you can always use the arrow buttons at the bottom right. Don't worry, the arrows only show up when you need to use them to see more. And, if you think there's a contradiction or something, try deduction. Good for that. Pretty sure I already knew that as well. If you can remember all of that, welcome to the world of pros. I dub you Ace Investigator. All I wanted was an update about the investigation. Is this the only talent you have? Oh wait. Same model as mine. Tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take them away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. Hope you understand that. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict who look ultra cool. We were doing so well until that last bit. Contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird says is true, why is the store locked tight? Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock the store? I'm certain of it, sir. I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed himself that I hadn't. Which means, what, sir? Either means that he actually does have a key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. How can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is examine these. Doorknob, right? Prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Let's see what you can lift from this. What'd you find out? No need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Found out only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So only two people's prints were found on this thing, huh? That's pretty decisive. I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Maggie's!
Take that!
Take that! Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? The door that Miss Bird could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? I won't rest until I've expected every sus. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Someone cheats him to clean up his toys after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, something written on it. I brought 3 pieces of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. Note from the victim. Head up Mr. Portman's office from another room times before. Also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, awards, to the point where it almost beyond gaudy. Maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous, since I don't have even a single one. Don't say that. I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you. Thanks for trying, but I already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. Proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Getting an award from you isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. I'm not sure what I should do with that other than guard it. It's like talking to another gumshoe. Hey Maggie, did you know I'm a prosecutor? Whoops. It's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? Proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. That badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Hey, please try it on just for a little bit. I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? On second thought, they're actually on the same level. Don't see any signs of forced entry. According to the guard, no signs the lock was picked either. Meaning the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. I think this, they did a good job of not leaving clues behind. 1202 is 4 numbers on a plate alone proclaim this to be my office. You have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know? Although the idea that could be so easily removed is kind of... How about a game? That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right. Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. Positioning the hoop is definitely unnatural. Better take note. Hey, investigation complete. Aw, yeah, health back. Poking around this hallway's actually paid off quite handsomely. How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes, the mastermind behind the murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. I knew it! It's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. Suspected it was him the instant he accused Maggie. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. Hi, prosecutor's office, 1202. Finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You take care of this. Go! Wrecked! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are a guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me, because they won't work? The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though we've yet to prove anything? Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. No idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on. With evidence. Rebuttal. How do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Speculations mean nothing, as I still insist I couldn't gain access to your room. What should I do now? There's an objection. You claim to have no way to open my door. However, that really is the honest truth. Whoops. Alright, I'll hear you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my room with the key. Bam! Take that! You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! How do you suppose I did that? Switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easy. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. Oh, baby. Kobe!
What?
I'm fucking getting this guy with his own basketball hoop. You see, it's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building, which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an objection perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar object, I mean. It's very true. There's a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door opening must be Mr. Portman's. Signs the hoop has been moved to sit in front of the office of my office. The office of my office. Fucking, I know how to. Hi, I'm Emerald Fish. I'm 25, and I've never fucking learned how to read. That's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture's a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? As pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. Jacket's not dirty, I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down. I intend to show who's the one truly covered in slime here. Also, welcome back, Maddie.
Thank you.
Now I'm just spouting nonsense. Hold it. Nonsense, you say. Because I'm telling the truth here. I had the girl open my office door. master key, of course. Sure. You have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Just place it in a labyrinth of some sort for people like you. After that, I was in my room the entire time. What were you doing in your office? Doing my usual training regiment. Training regiment? What were you going through your law books from start to finish? Mainly batting practice and some weights. Yeah, I jog when I get the chance. You must be the buffest prosecutor we have, with the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. But none of those would stand up on their own. What about all this evidence? One more little push. Ah, gotcha. That was a lie. How is that a lie? This is a note that your victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when your victim came to call on you. So then where were you? What were you doing? Oh! Shall I explain in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open the door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. Oh! Fucking limbo. Proof positive you have Maggie Bird open the door. I mean, she was the only one with access to the master key. No? Oh, shit. Hey, don't tell me about getting kinda late. I'll tell you when it's kinda late. Miss Bird opened the door for you. This? 'Cause it was still locked tight? Ah, there we go. Yeah. Bet you didn't find anything. You sure you're good at wasting time? You're right, I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, her prints should be naturally on the doorknob she touched. Further, all of the prints in my office's doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it was because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up the charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard a sound coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him, and I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escape. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office! Oh, he's laughing. He laughing. What's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You check my doorknob for prints? I can readily confess I'd wipe that doorknob down well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. No, you didn't! We found your prints! Fucking asshole! If you wiped it down, then no prints would be there, but we found yours and your detective's prints, you fool! Like early evening, for example. You say you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. He's probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. It's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a door you didn't notice a door. Fuck. Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I have one just now as we're talking. Guess it would have been better for all of us if I'd told you sooner. Memory serves, you came back to this office around 2 a.m., yeah? It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly at time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe? I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. Guy down in criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m. All of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Body was found at around 2:05. It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. Exactly that time I was down in criminal affairs. Press time. Correct, it was around 2 a.m. I remember checking my watch and making no mistake, it was 2. Testimony like a pro. Came back to your office at 2. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it.
So as you say, however, I'm the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come on now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder. I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remembered or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it.
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. Yep, after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it.
I did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. It's just as I said, right? A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time. Possible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. Why the sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there? Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle. Oh. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? Logic. Calmly think this through one more time with logic. Maybe he was in criminal affairs to get a handgun. Haha! One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows sign of being fired once, meaning it's entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. Seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. I didn't think about that. Oh, the person who went through the files isn't the same person as the one who went for the safe. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves opened at twice. The other shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think it was the work of two different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Objection! It seems I need to amend my assumptions regarding the case. So you finally come to your senses. What are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. The person I ran into was just your average thief. But sir, didn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office. Explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Mr. Bird and Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. That's the first time. This would be where the files were put back in the wrong order. Correct. And just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith. Why had Mr. Faith come into your room? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. That's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Because you were supposed to be away, right? Must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. As a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably just let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to just let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. Silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. That makes sense as to why one of the files was gone despite it being part of the message. Yet another reason is my room. This is where it gets complicated. This other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. The new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through the shelves. This is the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen O file. Only just as the thief was about to leave the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. Second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. Shelves were getting messed up twice, and the two bullets? It's all because two different people were doing those things at two different times. Precisely. Now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. But, you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Let's say that. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Ooh. Thief you ran into shouldn't be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs, so I can't be expected to know what happened after. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course. Now isn't the time to be wasting on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. Rebuttal.
Hold it.
Actually, no, I wouldn't. It's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those files on the spine of the floor, and the spines at the time the thief stole one of them. And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up, and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. You never know? Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. I hate to repeat myself. I was training in my room. According to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say Jim left that note for me early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say it. Just before he was murdered. I insist again, I was in my office that entire time. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? You know, those sofas in the hallway, he likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. What of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case, just 2 items, a gun independent. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. A gun, you say? Damn. Oh, 2 items. The note says 3. Gotcha now. I believe the proper phrase here is you fail. You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hid anything from you. Here's a piece I think you should read carefully. It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. This is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't get your simple arithmetic. Where's the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. What? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! What's this? He had this on him, sir. Vidya. Appear you do have something to hide. How do you hide something like that? Ooh. It would unequivocally point him to the person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail for the section of the tape that'll drive the last nail into his coffin. Oh. What's this? What does it say? What does it say? KG8 incident. It's a police case number, sir. Does it mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. Oh, shit. That's a bloody case. Oh, that's bloody case. I believe this good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. His blood is still fresh. This might be Detective Faith's blood? No! You got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how the victim's blood found its way onto this video. It's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of death? Did Detective Faith have a videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine the tape for fingerprints. Oh! If I had to take a guess, I'd say the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. Oh man, you're gonna break your fucking teeth, dog. Oh, he's actually breaking his teeth. I know you didn't hear that, Maddie, so for your benefit, I want you to know that he swallowed that with, like, a Hanna-Barbera ow sound effect.
Yeah, I seem to remember something along those lines.
Eggs?
The eggs. Portsman has been under arrest for murder of Detective Bloody Faith. The result we got back from the lab techs turned out to be real solid. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood. As a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of the fingerprints as well. Yeah! Still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. Impressed beyond words, sir. It's nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Nah, it's nothing. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. Consider myself lucky it was only a burglary and a murder this time. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I would have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from goddess misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security. That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why did you say he was corrupt? I heard there was a number of suspicious things related to his court case. Even rumors about some of the evidence he used is forged evidence. He even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Complete disgrace to the entire profession. Never did get around to asking what his reason for breaking into my office was. I never got near that topic, he just clammed up. But we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. Just between you and me, but there's a rumor going some huge organizations involved behind the scenes. Well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem we haven't heard the last of this. Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that. But rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. We still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. The file.
Take that!
The other villain of the night. I wonder who it was. What happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
It's a card. Is it a bird or something? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. Three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. It's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. The mark of the great thief. Yatagarasu? Holy shit! Oh, man. A noble to the end, a modern
Well,
robber.
they didn't even bother trying to American.
Yeah,
justify that shit.
localize. Yeah. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. We don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent to the mass media, along with this single card, though it's been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Man, yeah, I'll tell you what, that card's been banned from Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. That shit's broken as fuck. location where the thieves put the stolen files. The person who stole the content of the files was Yatakarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. Murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. They were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Damn. Yo, so, just for a fun fact, Maddie, explaining why Yatagarasu in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is why it's banned and broken is so simple. I'm pretty sure I could get even you to understand it, or anyone who doesn't even know a thing about it. So you know how card games, you usually, like, draw cards?
I suppose.
Yeah. And in this particular game, you have a draw phase, right? And you get to draw every turn.
I will have you know that I have never played an actual card game properly.
Straight up.
Just to let you know.
Maybe this will be harder than I thought. Well,
Not
basically...
Pokemon, not Yu-Gi-Oh, not Digimon. I collected them for the pretty pictures. That was it.
Fair enough. Well, the main idea is every turn you get to draw a card. So you have another card in your hand to use, to do a thing with. Yatagarasu is a card that basically stops the opponent from being able to draw anything, and therefore halts everything, and oftentimes results in just a horribly prolonged win by default because they can't do anything because they can't draw any new cards to counter it.
Why would they ever release a card that broken?
Right? It was like almost instantly banned when it was released, from what I understand. And it has never, ever come off the ban list.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's fucked. It is fucked up. And it will never come off the ban list, I don't think. I can't ever see it. I don't ever see it coming off the ban list. But, yeah. Okay, I guess it wasn't that hard to explain. Alright, as per usual. Oh, also, Maddie, did Ollie get back to you on the whole Left 4 Dead thing?
Oh, yes, they did. We can discuss that after.
Okay, cool. We'll discuss that afterwards. Alright, until then, I've been Emerald Fishy. We're doing Ace Attorney Investigations, same time tomorrow. I'll see you then. Night stream!